What's going on, Surgeaholics? It is early signing day night. A lot to talk about. But first off, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this right here. Chester Gardner becoming a YouTube member. Chester, thanks. Appreciate it. Appreciate that, Chester. I know you're a loyal supporter, and we appreciate that. Chester, you got to get in the Discord now, though. So email us. ousportsroundup@gmail.com. We'll send you the Discord link, Chester. Germ, it's been a wild day. You had signing day, and then you had the stuff about Jackson Arnold plans to enter the portal. So did you get a haircut? Some people are thinking about it.
Yeah, I got a haircut, and I'm already kicked off right now.
Why? Wait a second. Look who's back tonight.
Lori is back.
Lori is back. Let's go, Lori.
Hit the freaking like for Lori to be back. Hey, two things real quick. I don't even care. Look, the Arnold stuff, come on in here and bash all you want. The people like Kyle who said he will never be a good quarterback, just stop. You know, if you're a Dionne Warwick in the psychic hotline, I would agree with you, but you're not. You don't know what's going to happen. And Sooner WX. Ask Jason and Hunter. Go ahead. Ask them.
Ask me what?
Before we even came on here, I said, I think Michael Hawkins is going to play in the bowl game and look probably pretty good. He may be the starter. Look, the fact that people think I'm just going to quit on a team because of Jackson. What are you guys talking about?
That's wild.
Best of luck to Jackson Arnold.
I hope
he's not
Arnold,
a Sooner anymore.
I hope he does and goes well. I think Arnold with some good coaching could be a really good quarterback. You can't deny he's got talent. I just think it just didn't work out. It wasn't going to work out. That's why I thought he would leave, and he did leave. So
but I wasn't shocked.
First off, let me say this. The Mateer stuff, he's not in the portal. Until he enters the portal, I don't even really care to talk about it.
Hey, Greg God, tonight, come on in and call in. If you want to talk bash like that, call in and do it. Don't be hide behind the typewriter.
Hey, Zias, here's what I think's funny about that whole thing with Fasusi. I did actually go watch some Texas stuff today because it was on Twitter. I think Texas really thought they were getting Fasusi. Now, this was just, and KB knows more about this than me probably, but this one I was watching, I think they were shocked that he chose Oklahoma at the thing today. And was like, oh, what's going on? It's just Oklahoma.
Hey, Rick, I got to disagree with you a little. To say that Johnny Mateer is the answer. Johnny Mateer may be the answer. He may very well be the answer. I'm not going to sit here and say he is. And again, Greg God, I get that you're joking to just call him my boy. Listen, I'm a Sooner fan. Whoever starts at OU, I'm for winning. I'm not going to ever cheer someone to be unsuccessful at the University of Oklahoma. I'm just not going to do it. Sorry. And look, Mateer, I like some things I've seen with Mateer. But again, I'm not going to sit here and say this dude's it yet either. I've been burned on that before. So it is wild, the hate. It's kind of wild, honestly. Like what people should be doing is cheering that he's gone. They should be cheering that he's gone, not hating on the guy.
Hey, let's talk about the class today. The class, yes. The big news, obviously, is Michael Fasusi stuck with OU. This class ended up probably, 16th overall, I think is kind of where it was ranked. 9th or so in the SEC. By no means is this a class that you can sit here and just rave about standard-wise for Oklahoma. Nobody's going to be satisfied with where they finished. What led to that, I think, you had the decommitments down the stretch. You lose Sperry, who was pretty highly ranked for a quarterback. You lose the wide receiver decommits. You lost a couple of the defensive linemen like Floyd Boucard. I'm trying to think of the other one early on this year. So the fact of the matter is they have to go have a top 5 portal class to equal this class out, I think is what you need. You have to go have a really good portal class, Jeremy.
Hey, Jay, that's what I was saying. I mean, this class is it's top 16, okay? It's a 16 class. I'm not going to sit here and brag about the class. I will brag about Michael Fasusi and landing him. I think that's great.
Hey, Elijah Thomas is really good.
O-line is where they won out in the class, the period. That's where they won in this class. And now you got to go win in a few positions, Jay, portal. I don't think OU's got to go get 20 portal guys. They need to get about the right 5 to 7 portal guys. Now, if they lose a lot of guys, they could get more than that. But you need a couple of receivers. You need a quarterback. You need probably a running back, and then a couple of O-linemen. That's, to me, that's it. That's what you really got to focus on.
In Iowa, I'm not denying that. I think they will too. What I'm saying is this. It's the same thing with Jackson Arnold before he entered the portal. I didn't want to talk about it. Until Mateer puts his name in the portal, I'm not talking about it because I just don't think – yeah, do I think he's going to portal? Yes. Do I think he's going to end up at Oklahoma? Yes. But what I'm saying is until a guy enters the portal, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. Now, I agree with Bobby here. Those two, Fasusi and Foji, are unbelievable. The offensive line class, I think Owen Hollenbeck is underrated. I think
really Trent Wilson's underrated. I think Trent Wilson will be a good player.
But I think overall with the class, it's an O-line class that really Oklahoma needed. They had to have it. They got it. I'm curious how they're going to attack the portal with evaluation. They obviously last year got an F on evaluation. Well, I think it depends on who you lose in the portal too, Jerm.
As to what position? Well, Emmett Jones is a guy that should be active in the portal right now. Look, I saw Jackson mention a couple of guys, one from Arkansas. I think there's going to be plenty of wide receivers out there that could start. I do think there will be.
Yeah, and Greg God mentions O'Marion Robinson. Robinson and Wimberly, both from the state of Arkansas, both the top 2 players in Arkansas on that defense, are both really good players. I think, once again, OU got really good players on the back end of the defense. I think Brandon Hall's he's been crushing it since he's been at Oklahoma on recruiting.
Crystal, I love Michael Hawkins' talent. I love the fact that they're going to have a quarterback guy in here shaping the quarterbacks. Of course, his brother commits. I would be very shocked right now with Arnold leaving that Hawkins leaves. He's going to play in the bowl game. Unless they play Casey Thompson or Hawkins leaves, Hawkins is going to be the guy in the bowl game. So they're going to have a couple weeks to develop, see if they can, work on his footwork, work on progressions, things like that.
Yeah, the Hawkins stuff. There's a lot of Hawkins stuff. No sound. I think we have sound, but Hawkins,
check that new phone of yours.
Hawkins, I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know who's coming back for Oklahoma, guys. The portal opens December 9th. I don't know. It's the portal. Anything can happen.
Hey,
Iowa
Sooner. I'm going to go to this because it's clear BV said this, Jay.
Well, Ben Arbuckle said it today.
Right.
Did you hear that?
Yes. I still think it's coach speak. Yeah. They're not going to say that a guy is leaving if they know he's leaving before the guy announces it.
Well, also, Joe John Finley will be calling plays in the bowl game.
Not necessarily.
Who else would, Jeremy?
If Joe John Finley were to take another job, he's not calling plays in a bowl game.
He's not taking a job before a bowl game.
He could.
I don't think so, Jeremy.
Absolutely could. We don't know what's going to happen.
And you know what? Whatever. I don't know. And Stillerman doesn't think it's coach speak. And it could not be. I don't know with Brent Venables, guys. I really don't know. I don't know. The DBs, I think, were good that they got. I wouldn't say great. I think they were good. I like what Brent Venables said about him when he said that they know how to play the position. They're not like athletes that just are being played that position. They know how to play it, so that's a good thing. What was I going to get to? Favorite player besides Fasusi in this class, Jeremy? Mine's Elijah Thomas.
Look, I like the Carl Albert squad, if you will. I like the Carl Albert squad, but who'd you say yours was? Elijah Thomas?
I also like Blaylock a lot.
Again, the O-line, I like Torrey Blaylock. The O-line to me is the standout piece of this class, and I already said Trent Wilson. I do like Trent Wilson, but
who's the steal?
I don't know who the steal is, Jay. Again, I don't follow recruiting close enough to even answer.
I think I know the steal. Owen Hollenbeck.
Yeah, I like Owen Hollenbeck.
I think he would be the steal.
Hey, and I follow the portal way more than I follow recruiting.
Really? You follow the portal? Hey, I got to say something tonight. That bothered me today. Yeah, this is totally off subject. It came to my mind. I'm going to say it. If you listen to Spotify, I do not care about your Wrapped. I don't care about it. I don't care about what songs you listen to the most this year. Okay. Germ doesn't even know what I'm talking about. Jeez. Germ, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not a Spotify person, Jay.
I bet if Hunter dropped his in there, it would be all Zach Bryan. 5 of them.
Oh, all 5 would be Zach Bryan for Hunter.
I don't care, though. I've been seeing it all day long about people. Correct, Hunter says. I've been seeing it all day long about Spotify Wrapped. And I've had a lot of people tell me this today, Greg God, that Apple Music is where I need to be.
Well, you know what's on my playlist right now, Jay, on Pandora?
Pandora?
You know what I'm playing every day on Pandora? Do you know what I'm playing every day on Pandora?
German, wait a second. Please tell me you're joking.
Joking? Pandora's the same thing as Spotify. I use Pandora.
Pandora? What is Pandora? That's not even around anymore, is it?
It's around on my computer every day.
Oh,
and I'll tell you what's playing.
What?
Classic Country Christmas. You cannot beat Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, the classic country, Dolly Parton. Like, it is unbelievable.
Jerm, are you running Napster?
No, I could use a Napster right now, but I'm not running a Napster.
What were you getting ready to ask me before I changed the subject?
I don't know, Jay.
I don't know. He's an old soul, Bobby. He's an old soul.
I want to go by position group because look, National Signing Day is great. Early signing day, all that's great stuff. Okay, they sign, they get Fasusi, yay, rah. Really, it's we're talking about maybe 1 or 2 guys, period, out of this class that's going to play next year.
Yeah.
How many position players, Jay? I'm going to give you a position, and I'm going to give everyone a chance in the chat. We're going to give everyone kind of like about a minute to put their answers in. We'll talk about each position. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Name that number. Name that number. Here we go. Quarterback. How many quarterbacks will OU take out of the portal, Jay? Drop it in the chat comment.
How many quarterbacks will you take out of the portal? 1.
I think 1 as well. That would leave Zerberg, Hawkins, and whoever they get. That's really only 3 guys.
No.
They got the new guy today.
They got Jet today.
So
I think everybody's in agreement.
That is an agreement. Let's go to the next position group. In my opinion, the number 1 position group in the portal, the number 1 focus. Wide receiver. I got 3.
I got 2, but I think the number 1 group they need to get is O-line.
Oh, I think it's receiver. Now, when I say that, I'm assuming that Anderson and Gibson and Anthony are gone.
You
if
think
you
all
don't
of them
lose those guys, it's not a focus.
Do you think all of them are leaving?
I'm leaning that way, Jay.
Really? I think you get 2 receivers in the portal. What about Burks? Is he gone?
I'd be shocked if Deion Burks is back.
So right now you're thinking Burks, Anthony, Anderson, and Gibson are all leaving.
I think they lose 75% of those.
So you think 3 of the 4 leave?
Yeah, good job at math, Jason. Proud of you, bud. Didn't even have to take your shoes off and use your toes on that one.
No, you're right.
O-lineman, Jay. I don't think they need more than 2 O-linemen.
Yeah, but you got to hit on some O-linemen. I mean, what's the realistic thing here? Eugene Brooks and Eddie Pierre-Louis and Dent. Wait, listen. None of them played that much, Germ. How many of these guys do you think are going to play this year?
The problem, in my opinion, with going and attacking the portal when you got young O-linemen is you're not going to play the young guys.
But they're
and I said this even with Bauer Sharp and Jake Roberts. Because they went and got those, they did not play Devon Mitchell. Period. By the way, Farouk could come back.
Could. Germ, where does it start on offense?
It starts at the O-line.
So you tell me right now, without getting any portal guys, where the starting O-line is next year.
Without playing the young guys?
No, without getting any portal. You don't think portal is that big of a deal for the O-line?
Without getting the portal, it would be better than it was this year.
But Germ, it's the SEC.
Hey, answer that. Would you agree?
They need to go get a couple portal offensive linemen, Germ. I think this is silly. They need to.
Do you think Howland, Ozaya are staples?
Germ, they're still very inexperienced, Germ.
I agree. You needed one dominant, I think, would be great. But I like that line right there that people are putting in right now, Jay. All I'm saying, look, I'm not saying that you can't go get anyone in the portal. What I said was, if you go get a guy in the portal, I think you almost hinder yourself from playing some young guys. We've seen it in other positions.
I agree, Germ, but you're also saying playing the young guys who are freshman offensive linemen or redshirt freshman offensive linemen.
They're not freshmen.
Some are redshirt freshmen.
Okay, Jay. So let's say they go get 2 guards in the portal. You want to bench EPL, not play him next year.
You have 2 guards, Germ. Germ, I don't know. I want the best guys to play, Germ. But I think
this year they didn't play, Jay. They played Spencer Brown over the better
Whatever
guys.
happened to healthy competition, Germ?
I love healthy competition.
Okay, so please.
Hey, can I say something?
You always do, and you always yell.
Let me preface it. Can I yell something?
Of course.
I'm going to go to quiet, Germ. Listen here, everybody. I don't know who's leaving Oklahoma. I don't know which receivers are going to go elsewhere. I said I think they're going to lose some guys. Sometimes I buy into what other people say, even people in this chat, and I got to take a step back and say, look, I don't know if Nick Anderson's leaving. His brother's helping out at the University of Oklahoma. It wouldn't make sense for him to leave. It would not make sense. It wouldn't make sense for Anderson or Gibson to leave right now. They'd be back as the clear-cut starters on this team. So do I hope they stay? Absolutely, I hope they stay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jay, you annoyed right now?
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Please, yeah, Germ's an insider. Germ, what happened with the barber?
What do you mean?
Where'd you go? Great clips or supercut?
Great clips.
Of course. Of course.
What's wrong with it? Wait, what happened with the barber? What are you talking about?
They fumbled.
Where?
You know what I think's hilarious?
What?
You know what I think's hilarious?
I think
we did a bit. Hey, this is a true story. Everybody listening right now, listen to this.
Wait, time out.
No.
Jackson, look, next time I need a mop, I'll come cut your hair and use your head because it's a mop, dude. You talking about my hair being off.
Germ, I want to tell this story because everybody, and today we did a video. And was it today? I think it was today. Jeremy says, hey, Jason, what do you say when you go to the barber? What do you get your hair? What do you say when you go to the barber? Do you tell him a high fade? And I'm thinking, why is he asking this? And then he went and got a haircut. You're trying to be like me, and it didn't work out, bro.
That's it. Actually, I want to know what you got so I could not tell him that.
Okay.
And by the way, Hunter, that's not surprising because if Jackson says something 17 minutes ago, it'll be changed 17 minutes later, okay? Hey, FanStop said something about Brooks O-line. Yeah, Eugene Brooks, I think, should absolutely be looking at starting next year, vying for that job.
Monty says Hollenbeck. Yeah, Hollenbeck's going to be center. BV pretty much said that today. Played out of position this year in high school. He's going to be a center. So, Daniel Brooks said he heard that a lot of the wide receivers are staying. I think nobody knows. I mean, it's hard to know.
And look, I want to know the people that say he's definitely portaling. He is 100% portaling. How do you know that?
How do you know, Jerm?
I already said I didn't know, Jay. I went real quiet.
And this is a great point by Michael. To have their name drop on Monday, they probably going to request it by tomorrow because it takes about 48 hours at least. Business, I mean, I would think so, but not including weekends. So, yeah, it does feels like Christmas. Everyone's in a good mood tonight, Jerm. It's early signing day. Everybody's in a good mood.
Look, and I'm going to say this again, Jay. Whoever is here. Like this, we should have got this guy. Oh, if this guy would have, it doesn't matter. It's who's here.
Yeah. And what about this? Greg said Fasusi saved
Absolutely did. Absolutely.
They had to have that. I know Texas if Texas would have landed him, I mean, they already had an outstanding class. Did they finish 1 or 2? Do you know?
I thought they were 1. But hey, you're right, Zayas. There were a whole lot of people in this chat saying Fasusi was gone. He's gone. There's no chance he's coming to OU.
Hey, I do remember a lot of the regulars saying halfway through the year, he's gone. Texas is going to offer him. Here's the question I want to ask everybody. Here's the question I want to ask everybody in the chat. Because supposedly this was the talk about Fasusi. He's going whoever gives him the most money. So are you saying OU paid him more than anybody else offered him?
I bet OU matched. Yeah.
No,
I bet they matched.
I don't think so, Jerm.
I would say they matched, and then the relationships.
I bet other people offered more.
No, yeah.
I would guess, but I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm just asking because that was the thing was that he's going to go whoever pays the most money. It seemed like just today, it seemed like a pretty, like it wasn't a drama recruiting thing. It was like OU and that's it. Now, KB says Texas offered more than OU, but well, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody said he was going to go where the money was. And first off, I think that's ridiculous. I hate the offering of playing. I hate that. But I hate that you can't really make promises to people like that, but the people do. I know, but
Nick Nolte did in Blue Chips.
I don't care about Blue Chips. They did it illegally. That's illegal.
Okay.
Blue Chips was illegal, Germ.
BV said today they're bringing a few of the injured wide receiver back, hence the reduction. Well, yeah, that would be outstanding if Anderson and Gibson come back. Heck, even Andrew Anthony, but I haven't seen him play and seen him come back from that injury. So,
yeah, I guess we should have, Jackson. Go for it. Hey, BV.
Hey, anytime we get a guest, people just say they want it. It's ridiculous.
And plus, they're on all the other shows tonight, so whatever.
Why would they come on Measly Sooner Surge? I mean, all we do is sit on here every single night and give our opinions and takes. I mean, I could really care less about. Hey, Jay, I think we can open the phone lines. We're 22 minutes in.
Let's open them, man. Let's open them up. You're yelling. Jackson's trying to get to you, Jeremy.
Jackson's trying to get me fired up, and I'm not going to go into it tonight. I got a nice haircut. My puka shell is elite.
Your
tonight.
what?
My puka shell is elite tonight. My drip today was complimented. I'm happy.
Ketchum from O-Blood said Texas offered Fasusi the most NIL. Yeah, but I also will say this. I think he was the one that came out on Twitter and then got called out on Twitter by what do you call the community put notes? Something like that. I don't know exactly what happened, but
yeah, I would not believe that. It's funny the things that people believe, Jay. Right. Hey, boys, put the alligator up. I'm sick of it.
What?
Oh, we have an alligator we got the other night from the. I'm not. Guys, put the alligator up. Jeez.
All righty.
Daniel says Texas always has a high recruiting class. They just recently started winning and using that talent. I will say Texas has been known to have great recruiting classes. Now they have the coaching staff along with that, and they're going on great places.
Well,
they're in a great spot, guys. Texas is in a great spot.
Here's the thing. OU's had good recruiting classes under Brent Venables until this year. This is the worst one he's had. And now Texas is on a different level right now. They're having good recruiting class, and they have a coach that can coach, and they're winning. Okay, you can't deny it. That is what it is. So, let's see here. I mean, I don't know if Daniel was talking about Hunter. Did you put it in here? Did you put the link in here?
Hey, real quick, Gray God. I'm an OU fan. I'm worried. Look, this is what I'm going to say, and I may get ripped for this, Jay.
You probably will, Art.
I'm not worried about Texas or anyone else. I'm worried about Oklahoma. I'm worried about the University of Oklahoma more than anyone else, right? We can't worry about what the other schools are doing. OU's got to worry about themselves. Take care of business here. Well, not here, but in Norman.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly, Hunter. I don't give a rip about anyone else.
I think the point they were saying is that Texas is on a hybrid trend and OU's not. That was the point being made.
And the bigger part of that statement, Jay, is OU's not.
Yeah, I mean, Texas in the playoff back-to-back years, OU's hasn't been. So,
yeah.
I mean, so it is what it is. Phone lines are open if you want to call in. I believe they're open. I think Hunter might have dropped it in there. I'm not positive on that. But how about Lincoln Riley getting offered the UCF? Or they're going after him, I guess. I don't know what all that's about. But
all right, Jay. And NFL is going to call before that.
I would think so.
Hey, I will say this. A lot of people last year were saying, oh, you better worry about Alabama and what Caleb Moore's going to do there. So
And hey, KB, let me answer this and then we'll get to Plone 20. I would be disappointed, I think, if Joe John Finley stays. And that's just because
I would too.
Because he's called the plays now. I think he probably can go get an OC job. They haven't been great at tight end in the last few years. So if it's just me, but hey, Platone, what's up?
This is like the fourth night in a row Platoon 20's opened up our show. Kudos.
Hey, thanks, guys. I like to jump on early. Just a couple thoughts. One is I agree with Jay. I think we got to – my trust in the offensive line, despite getting Fasusi, is a little bit, I don't want to say shattered, but I don't know. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we get at least 3 OL out of the transfer portal, right? I mean, we're pretty stacked at DL. I don't think we need defensive line. I think we're good there. I think I would go for at least 3 offensive line, a couple of wide receivers. We need a QB, maybe a tight end, a couple other spots. But I think we should prioritize OL because, frankly, with our recent track record on that, we need extra help on that. And
okay, here's my question for you, Platoon 20. And I kind of posed this to Jay earlier, but I want to hear your thoughts because I don't really care about Jay's thoughts.
Okay.
If you get 3 guys out of the portal, and deep down inside, Bill Beatenbow knows that Eugene Brooks and EPL are pretty much guys who are going to be pushing for the starting job. That's got to be in his head. Like, do I go get this guy knowing that these guys are going to really be pushing for the job?
Yeah, no, I got you. It is. And obviously, the chances that all those guys are going to be starters is pretty low. But, we were so bad on offensive line. I even though we got Fasusi, obviously, he's just one guy. I think we need more than just him. I'd still want to fill that class out a little bit. Now we're not going to get any elite guys. We're not going to get any 5 stars from the portal or anything like that. But even just depth, right? We lost so many guys for injuries. Even just getting a couple of depth guys that can play competent backup is a goal for us because last year we couldn't even do that. So, that's what I want to do. The other thing I would say is I know in the SEC, a lot of the elite SEC teams, they go 8 to 10 deep on the defensive line. Now, I don't think we need to recruit a lot of more. We have a pretty good stacked class there, but just future thoughts. I think, what'll make our defense elite in the SEC is an even deeper defensive line. Our core guys are good. You're wrong, they're good, but I think we need a little more depth there. To get elite defense in the SEC, we need a few more guys on that defensive line too. But I'll hang up and listen.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Platone, you can never have too many defensive linemen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I would like to know, Jay, because out of the O linemen, which O line position do you think is the most needed right now? If you're going to go the portal, guard, center, or tackle?
Tackle has to be. Here's the problem, Jerm. This team, you can say what they want. They got better. They could not block again. They could not pass block.
Could not pass protect.
And that starts at tackle. I go get the A&M tackle right now. The Aggie tackle that's going to the portal. Started 8 games for A&M. That's who I'm going after. Let me say this, and I have not had a butt cake today or lately, Lori. Jerem, I want you to answer this question for me, and then I'll say I can say you're right about something. You ready?
Yeah.
You're sitting there talking about O-line. I 1,000% agree with Platoon 20 about getting portal O-linemen. Here's why, Jerem. Name for me right now, under Bill Beatenbow in the last 8 years, how many offensive linemen that went to the NFL started as freshman or sophomore or redshirt freshman?
It does.
Offensive line is a development.
Well, you developed them this year. They need to play next year.
No, they can sit 2 years and then be stud for 2 years, Germ. You develop them. That's what O-line is,
Jason,
man.
I get what you're saying.
No, you don't, Germ. There wasn't. I'm waiting, and I'm going to sit here until you can name them. Freshman or redshirt freshman?
Can you listen for a second?
Freshman or redshirt freshman under Bill Beatenbow? Go.
There's not many. I don't know of any, Jay.
Why? They have all these. Why? They have all these guys in the NFL. Shouldn't they have played as freshmen? Why did they sit as freshmen, Jeremy? Why did they sit as redshirt freshmen, Jeremy? Why did they sit as sophomores, Jeremy?
Can you listen? You are correct, Jay. It doesn't happen much. But let me tell you something. These guys aren't going to sit around at OU for 2 years and not go elsewhere. You'll lose them.
Well, not if you're not.
That's the name of the game now, Jay.
That's the
name of the game, Jason.
I don't think it is as O-lineman as much. The O-line portal.
There's Zalance Hurd. What was he?
What about Zalance Hurd? He didn't even do that great, did he?
What was he, a freshman?
I don't know.
I agree you have to develop O-linemen. I'm just saying guys today aren't going to sit around for play. They're not going to sit for 2 years and then play the third year. It's not going to happen these days, Jay. Those days are long gone. I wish they were still here. I wish players sat for 2 years, got developed, and played. It's not here anymore, Jason.
So you're saying play the young guy even if they're not ready because they're going to leave the next year?
No, I'm not saying freshman. I'm glad your second year they should be ready.
I'm glad you're not coaching.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not either, Jay. I couldn't handle it.
I don't know the answer either, Germ. I don't know the answer. I'm just saying. And by the way, did you say get to the super up here? I don't know if you said it.
We need to get a Chief super.
Yeah,
because Chief is one of the greatest supporters of the Sooner Surge YouTube channel. Love Chief. Thanks for all you do for us. Chief says only signing 19 players means we're hitting the portal hard again. We just can't miss as bad as we did last cycle. We cannot miss as bad. Hey, it would be hard to miss worse. But I'll believe it when I see it if we can hit a home run.
Here's what I'll say, and then we're going to get to Jackson, who called in here, and then Coconut Greg. I'll say this. I don't know the answer. All I'm saying is I think you go get a couple of O-linemen in the portal because I think the more competition you have at O-line, the best right now. They need all the competition they can get and play the best guys, whether it be – I don't care the age. I'm just saying, like, some of these guys that are redshirt freshmen, Ozida looked better the more he played. I agree with you there. But how good do we look this next year with another year under his belt is what I'm saying.
What year is Banks at Texas, Jay?
Probably a junior.
Oh, I thought he was a sophomore.
I think he's a junior. Competition's good. That's right. Let's get to Jackson. What's up, Jackson?
What's up, guys? I just want to say, like, I hear you guys talking about the O-line and stuff, and some OU fans are like, they want Michael Fasusi to start at day one. But the reality is, do you guys know the last true freshman offensive lineman to start a game in Oklahoma? Do either of you guys know this?
Caden Green started last year.
Caden Green.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you're right. But
you asked a question and then we got the answer.
Yes, the guy before Caden Green. You know who the last one was? This is going to show how rare it is, no matter how good you are.
Bray Walker never played.
Yep. That's who it is, Jerm.
Oh, well, he didn't play after that.
He was a 5-star too. Now, I'm not saying that Michael Fasusi is going to be as bad as Bray Walker because I don't think that. I think Michael Fasusi's ceiling is untapped and he has a chance to be Lane Johnson, Trent Williams. That's good. But the reality is you need to go out and hit on these guys that you guys have been saying. Like, the reason why they had to get Spencer Brown was because they missed on Zalance Hurd. That's the reason why they had to settle for Spencer Brown. And we see how Spencer Brown was at Oklahoma. He barely even started at Michigan State. He was off and on there. He comes to Oklahoma, and you have to have him start the majority of the season. So it's just that they need to get these guys to come in as transfers and play consistently a lot. And as you guys have been saying, and everyone in the chat is saying, you have to hit on these players because this transfer class, in my opinion, honestly, might ride more on Bill Beatenbow's job because if they go in and struggle again with the young offensive line, no matter how good they are, if you're young and haven't started in the SEC, it's going to be difficult. It just is because the SEC is like the mini NFL in a sense. So they need to go out and hit on these guys and show that you don't really want to rely on Michael Fasusi from day one to start. You don't, no matter how good he is.
Hey, you know what though, Jackson?
Freshman.
Jackson.
Yeah. What's up?
Michael Fasusi right now, put the pads on. December 4th, I take him over Spencer Brown.
Oh, I would too, but that's not much of a bar, Jeremy. If you're going to put the bar at Spencer Brown, that's not saying much.
As a high school senior,
hey, right now, I would rather have Howland or Sexton start over Michael Fasusi the first day Fasusi got on the campus.
We'll see what Fasusi does in camp and stuff.
Hey, thanks for the call,
Yeah.
Jackson. Appreciate it.
I mean,
Hey,
we'll see pushing people around.
hey, Chris says if Fasusi doesn't start day one, he is gone. Guys of his caliber have to start. That's kind of what you're saying, Jerm, but I just don't know about O-line, man. I think he's so good. I think he's really talented. Will he start as a freshman? I don't know. Let's get to Greg. What's up, Greg? You there, Greg?
Have we lost Coconut?
Greg, you there? Hello, Greg. Try us again. Hey, we'll get to KB. Try us back here again, Coconut Greg. Let's get to KB. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
Congrats on the #1 recruit.
Hey, man, you can absolutely have your O-line sit. Our O-line, those guys, the ones that are starting, have at least sit 2 years.
I think that's the way O-line is.
Except for
5 stars.
Except for Kelvin Banks, but he's a freak. That's the only one.
I think Fasusi's a freak.
I don't think so. That I'm just saying. And listen to me. They were talking today on the SEC network, talking about recruits, and they said he probably has a higher ceiling than Banks, but he's not as good coming out of high school as Banks. And you also have to remember Banks started when we were still in the Big 12, not the trenches in the SEC.
Yeah, I think it's a tough deal. I see both sides. I see where Germ's coming from with guys will leave, but I also think at O-line, I think a lot of the O-linemen know it's a developmental thing.
Yes.
And if you're being coached by Bill Beatenbow, all it takes is one really good year and you're going to be way up there in the draft. I mean, just develop, get out there and play, dominate when you get out there. So I don't know. It's a catch-22.
And that's what I'm saying. Kyle Flood has them come in there and sit 2 years, and none of them seem to have a problem with it because they know what's going to happen once they leave.
You're going to get paid down the road.
Hey.
And it doesn't. And KB, here's the thing. And I'm going to play devil's advocate to Germ here about guys will leave. Why would you leave if you're getting paid so much money
Jason,
you're getting paid and you're not playing. You're still getting paid.
Right,
Jay,
exactly. And Banks is a junior this year. He'll be gone next year. He'll be gone after this year.
Right now, if Fasusi sits the first 2 years, he's still going to be a Sooner his junior year.
I didn't say 2 years. I said at least.
Come on, guys. There's no.
Yeah, he needs at least one. They all need at least 1 year. I don't care who they are, really. But
I agree.
Banks will be gone after this year. He's a junior.
Yeah, he'll be going pro.
Don't you
Thanks,
also
KB.
think with early enrollees, a lot of it's different than it used to be, and strength and conditioning programs in high school. I mean, people on here are saying he's way too small and needs to put weight on. I agree, he needs to put some weight on. He's 6'6", 296 though. I mean, he gets to 310 easily by the first of the year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's get to Daniel. What's up, Daniel?
Thanks, KB.
Appreciate it, KB.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I was just responding to what Gray God said about, because we got, blown out or just killed the last 2 times. Recruiting classes are important, but it's more about the development. I mean, this is not the Coach Stoops era, but almost for 20 years, Coach Stoops literally had UT's number, killed them all the time. UT's always consistently had a high recruiting class. Would it be nice this year to have a top 5 recruiting class? That's great. But Jim Harbaugh, and I'm not saying BB's going to be Jim Harbaugh, he rarely had a top 8 recruiting class. It looked how he was able to develop over time those guys on his team. So I'm saying it's okay to have a high recruiting class, but if you don't get those players in and develop them properly, I mean, we're not going to go anywhere going forward.
Well, and I see what you're saying, because if you look at BB's recruiting classes, his first 3 years, he had top 7 classes. It didn't pan out to wins. And you could argue that I think Texas has developed players better than OU recently.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Hey, Daniel, also, Dan, I mean, you mentioned Harbaugh. When Harbaugh was about to be fired for a couple years.
Yep, he called his brother and he changed that course, and look where he went.
And Harbaugh, when they won it all last year, it was pretty senior heavy and it was older guys. Now, I do think that's rare because I think players leave unlike what they used to do. I would hate to develop a guy like Crystal said, develop a guy for 2 years and then he takes an NIL check somewhere else and you did all the development.
Yep, exactly. But I just think people need to relax on, it's what did y'all say it was ranked 16 or something like that?
Yes.
I think it's fine. I mean, and I think next year, if they could have a recruiting class like in the top 5, I think it's going to be all forgotten and no one's going to worry about it. But I've never, especially being a player and us being, on the inside and these classes coming in, it's about development. It's about the brotherhood. It's about what we're going to be able to do on the field. Does it help to, have, like I said, have high recruit classes? Yes, it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. Nick Saban had one almost every year, but, Nick Saban's the GOAT. I mean, that's a rarity, but I just think everything is going to be all right. People just need to relax that it's not as high. I'm not saying you guys are saying that either, but I just feel like some people are just panicking because it's outside the top 10. Who gives a dang? Go develop. Let's go win.
Develop. I agree. The development has to be better, and they got to do that. Appreciate it, Daniel.
All right,
Daniel. Thanks for calling in. Hey,
there's a lot of people that agree with that, Jay.
Yeah. Hey, and Jerm, you're wrong, and I agree with, I don't know if Chris has said it. The whole NIL and the area you can't develop anymore. That's bull. That's bull.
And I wonder when we're going to get to a point where, look, recruiting is great, but they do have the portal now. I wonder if there's going to be a day, maybe 2 years down the road, where they take the portal into the recruiting class rankings.
I don't know about that.
Where they combine those two. We got Coconut Greg back.
He's not on here. I don't know. He's not on here. They already do, Hunter says. Hey,
I
want to get to Bobby. Bobby says 5 of the last 7 have been top 2. Haven't the 5 of the last 7, though, been Georgia or Alabama? I mean, other than Michigan and Clemson, haven't they been Georgia and Alabama? Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody else? I'm trying to think.
They already combined the 2.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, can OU finish top 10?
They got to finish top 10, Jeremy. They have to.
With the portal?
I think so.
Hunter says no chance.
I think they really need you, Jeremy. There's Greg. We got Greg on the line.
You don't know that they won't, Hunter. Hunter, get on here tonight and tell me why you know they won't. I'll wait. What's up, Greg?
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my AirPods. They've entered the transfer portal on me or something. I don't know.
You need to
but
develop
anyways,
develop them better, Greg.
Yeah, well, I'm no high caliber football coach. We'll see. But yeah, so this morning when I heard that Jackson Arnold had entered the transfer portal, I was kind of bummed. Not so much that I guess we'll miss him. I mean, part of me will. I think the guy did give his all to the program. He didn't keep the red shirt, and he played for us when he really didn't have to in that sense. But what I was more bummed about is the fact that us at OU, we cannot hold on to a quarterback that we recruit out of high school. I mean, who was the last quarterback that we recruited out of high school, played meaningful time for us, and also graduated from OU? Was that like Landry Jones or something?
No, it was. I saw something today that the last highest ranked guy was Blake Bell.
Okay, well, that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's been an issue. It's been an issue.
It
was an issue under Lincoln Riley, too.
Jay and Greg, I got something for you. Let's go through some of the teams right now. I mean, I don't think it happens anywhere across America.
I would agree with that a little bit.
Think about the teams. I mean, Bama's got Milroe, but Jalen Hurts left them. I'm trying to think who else. I mean,
Will Howard.
McCarthy was at Michigan. But outside of that, who else just stays around schools? It doesn't happen very much.
Well, I guess, if you're talking about Bama, you have Bryce Young, but
you got Aller at Penn State this year that's been there forever.
Yeah, it's just strange. I mean, you make a good point. That's just kind of the nature of college football, but it would be nice to see one of the guys we recruit out of high school stick around. Now, it seems like Hawkins might. This morning when I saw that his little brother signed with us, I thought that's a good sign that Hawkins is going to stick around. But
I do think
you never know.
I think he will.
Yeah, I think you said it, Greg. You never know. He may leave tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, nothing surprises me anymore with portal. I can't expect anything's going to surprise me. And I think there will be guys at Oklahoma this year that everybody thought was all in on Oklahoma that will not be at Oklahoma next year.
Very well could be. Jerm, I got a question for you before I jump out. Earlier in the live, you seemed pretty adamant that you think we're going to have many wide receivers currently on roster leave. I mean, again, it could happen, but supposedly we're bringing in this guy who's wanting to have more of a downfield passing attack. Wouldn't you think that that would entice more of the guys on the roster to want to stick around?
I agree with you. And if you recall, I kind of got, in one of my passionate rants, and then I took a step back. Like the Anderson one, there's been so many people, Greg, that mentioned Anderson's gone. And I, for a long time, have thought to myself, why would he leave when his brother's on campus involved in things? And that's the one that, to me, Gibson and Anderson are the two that would not make sense to leave. Anthony would make sense to leave. He's been injured. I just don't know if he's even sees himself playing there at OU. But Anderson and Gibson, in my opinion, would be 100% starters. Like it's not even an argument. So I don't know why they would leave unless they're upset with people are saying medical training. I don't know any of that. But hey, if you ask me, the four guys, those four guys, Burks, Anderson, Gibson, and Anthony, if I could keep two of them, the two that I would want, Greg, would be Anderson and Gibson. What about you?
I would say yes. I agree to both of those. I think we just need more size at wide receiver.
Agree.
And both of those have pretty good speed too. Andrew Anthony, that guy's a missile. But we need the size. I'm kind of tired of these, 5'9", 5'10" receivers that we tend to bring in. I mean, they're great when they're open, but when it comes to like a jump ball, we need someone that's bigger. I'm just nervous about them too, coming off of injuries. You just never know how a player is going to be mentally and physically when they come back from a tough injury. Austin Stogner was that way. He was incredible.
Yeah.
His first go around at OU before he got injured, and he comes back and he's nowhere close to the guy he was before. So I just hope that these guys are the people they were before if we can get them healthy. But
yeah, I agree. And I don't like 5'9" guys blocking on the edge for wide receiver screens either.
No, not at all. Hey,
Greg.
Good stuff, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks, man. Hey, Germ, the whole wide receiver thing. Let me say this. You said Anderson and Gibson. Why would they leave? And I don't know. I don't live in their apartment. I don't know. I don't talk to them personally. They've both been at OU for 3 years. They've played like hardly any snaps. Maybe they want to change of scenery. I don't know.
Hey, who else was on that team though? Without, you had other studs on that team, right? Shepard's here, CD, wasn't he?
No, you also was that Lee Morris?
Yeah, he was a taller guy. I'm trying to think. They weren't all. I think what Greg's saying, what I agree with, Daniel, you can't have all 5'9" guys. Like you can't have all small receivers. Having one in the slot.
I think one's great. I think one's great.
Real quick, because Germ's going to call me out, I'll hop on here for a second to say why you're wrong on that. And CeeDee Lamb didn't play with Sterling Shepard, Germ. So not only wrong on that, but something else. So overall,
I said, did he?
I thought you said he did. My bad. Sorry. Maybe I need to listen a little better. Overall recruiting rankings, which includes high school and portal. Right now, there's not going to be portal because nobody is really portaled, but you can have that and you can look at where Oklahoma would be. So right now, I added in 8 of the top 15 players in the portal. I'm saying Oklahoma is going to land 8 out of the top 15. It's not going to happen. But let's say they do, which is a quarterback, Connor Wigman, just because he's the highest ranked. It's a couple wide receivers.
God help us if he's the highest ranked.
Well, as of right now, he is. I don't know how he is, honestly. I thought Salter from Liberty would be above.
I thought he'd be higher.
But you add all of that, you throw it into the 247 Sports class calculator, Oklahoma is still 10 points shy of 10th place.
But don't you think that's with the current look, I hope there's bigger
everything,
names.
Germ. And guess what? These other schools are going to add portal guys. Their classes are going to go up.
They're going to rise too.
It's going to widen even more. Oklahoma will not have a top 10 overall recruiting class.
The best OU.
I like what you said there. You brought some stats with it.
Hey,
can they have a top 10 portal class?
Well, they can, Germ. They can.
Hunter.
They need to. I don't think they will.
Don't you think the best they're going to get to would be like 12 or 13 best?
Yes, that is
That's
the
kind of what
rule. And that's not just okay, like that's gonna happen. That's them just killing the portal. Like you're talking about they're landing multiple top 10 guys in the portal, maybe a 5-star in the portal, because you're gonna start seeing big names come Monday when
Yep.
it's official, and then some things are gonna be delayed. I mean, you have a 12-team playoffs. At least 10 of those teams have some really, really good talent across the board that could be entering the portal, that could be highly ranked. So you'll see that later into the portal cycle as well. But I mean, I don't think they will have a top 10 portal class. Let me look at what they were like last
Well,
year.
Hey, I want to say something about a couple of the comments. Daniel said, it's about attitude. I agree with that, but I also agree scheme is a big deal. Heck, maybe Zion Kearney and Zion Reagan's and some of these guys in a different scheme would have looked different too. I also got to say what Fanstop said, Anderson and Gibson, you would think would fit an Arbuckle system. Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a better system, we would hope. It can't be worse. And then the comment about Salter, no, Arnold is better. Yeah, the people that are saying, let's go get these mid
Salter, I wouldn't include Caden Salter in that, Jerm. I think he's a real quarterback.
I think he's a scheme guy, Hunter. Take him out of the scheme, you lose a lot.
All right.
Hey, Daniel says you're a Moneyball guy. Hey,
What?
Hunter, I'll say this.
Hunter's our version of Jonah Hill.
You're not going to find on many other podcasts somebody that what just Hunter just did and drop that in there that quickly. Hunter is the man.
And real quick to answer, I know Jerm asked again kind of where they were the last couple of years. So last year, this is only transfer portal, not overall, just transfer portal. Oklahoma was number 20. They did not have a good portal class last year, and it showed on the field. The year before, they were number 8, so it can happen. They also took 17 guys out of the portal that year, and you really want to go through the list of guys that they hit on in that portal class, which this year it's going to be a lot different because not only are scholarship limits back in place for single classes, they are this year, it's overall. I mean, 85 guys to 105. That's all you can have. You cannot gray shirt. You can for up to 20 potentially, but you can't before where, we can have 150 guys on the roster. You can't do that. So that's something there. But if you want to go through that 2023 class, I would say the guys that Oklahoma hit on.
I don't. It was horrible. I'm not going to
DeJohn Terry, Troy Everett, Andrew Anthony, Rondell Bothroyd, and Walter Rouse. Deshaun McCullough too, maybe. Him and Trace Ford have been solid, but there was and then Luke Elzinga, but he's a punter. So
yeah, it was a good, mighty good one.
Hey,
Hunter,
Jared,
appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on and giving us that.
Yeah, it was good stuff, Hunter. Probably do that more often. That's some good stuff. Hey, let me say this. Is there any coincidence, though, with this comment I'm getting ready to make? Any coincidence that the number 1 and the number 2 ranked class probably paid the most NIL?
No,
Texas,
it's not. And Jay,
Texas and Oregon, right? Don't you think are they the most? Do you think the most NIL or not?
Probably. Jay, so, I think it was it Chief or no, it was KB Longhorn that said, go deep sea fishing and get the big ones. Look, OU needs to circle once the portal opens up, and guys, and the risky thing is you can't go too early on you kind of got to know what you're looking for, and once that guy gets in there, do everything you can to go get those few, because what the CS Land, I think, is who it was. The amount of plays that portal guys actually play, not very many, as the guest that we had on said that, Jay. You've got to get guys who are going to make immediate impacts.
I think another question, and I mean, if you're not in the Discord, everybody, and you're a member, you need to be in it. If you're not, be a member, join it, because there's a lot of good stuff in there, some bickering back and forth, but also couple weeks ago, Hunter dropped a whole spreadsheet on pretty much his thoughts on who might leave, who might portal, who might be it was pretty cool. I think that's the next step is, okay, who's going to leave? How many scholarships are you going to have available? You got to get down to that limit of 105. How many do you have available to go get in the portal? I'll tell you this, listening to Brent Venables today, Jerm, I'm not sure they're going to go get a ton in the portal. I think they're it doesn't sound like it's not like it's a Deion Sanders thing where they're just going to go portal. They're still going to develop. They're going to try to go in the high school ranks, but they absolutely, let's just say, I'm going to throw a number out there. If they go get 8 portal guys, let's just throw that number out there.
I like that number.
You like that number? If they go get 8 portal guys, I think all 8 have to play next year and play well.
Yeah,
you have
Jerry
to
says 5 to 7, but if you get 5 to 7, they all better be significant impact players. Rick has a good point about Ole Miss. Ole Miss was number 2. How'd that pan out? They're probably going to be left out of the playoffs.
Well, Ole Miss today, and that's a compare. Ole Miss to ranked 15 today, right, with OU. But they're not. Ole Miss, I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. I thought after last year, what they did in the portal, I think they underperformed this year because I think most people thought they'd be in the playoff, and they're not. But they didn't follow it up with they were ranked 15th in the class. I mean, what can they get to? Maybe 10 or 11, maybe.
And Iowa Sooner has a great point here, Jay. College football's changed. It's less about potential in the future, and it's more about production right now in the present. I like that. There was something else I wanted to get to, Jay. KB disagrees. I'm not sure which part.
Yeah, KB, which one are you disagreeing with? Probably Germ, but what point are you trying to make?
It may be me, Jay.
What? Here's the highest NIL. Oregon, A&M, Texas, Florida. OSU?
I didn't know that. I mean,
okay, Grey God, this is my point. Even if they're heavy hitters, they're not going to get, as Hunter just put out. How high can they get? They'll still be about 10 or 11, is what I'm saying. He's disagreeing about the potential versus now.
And that's fine. I mean, I can see both sides. I just think that the present production for OU this year is very important, at least for BV. BV can't worry about the future. BV has to worry about the present. We need to start paying for some players. I don't care about morals. If you don't adapt, you will lose to those that have. And this is an argument that we've had on here before, Jay. I'm a huge culture guy. But I also see where it hinders, unfortunately. I wish I didn't have to say that, but it does. At least we're not OSU firing OCs and DCs on early signing day.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Correct.
No,
Jay is 6 minutes older than me.
Correct. Wiser and older, as everybody can tell. And, Germ looks up to me. He wants to try to get a haircut like me, and he can't. Turn to the side real quick. Okay. I think that's the issue. That's the issue people are talking about, Jeremy.
Is it?
I think that's probably the issue. Let's watch a little film. Turn to the left.
Are you talking about it looks like there's more hair there?
Other way. Yeah, I think that's what they're talking about, Jeremy.
It's the light, dude.
Maybe it's the light. Hey, here's my prediction. They have a board meeting coming up. My prediction. Oklahoma State offensive coordinator. Kel Gundy. Oklahoma State defensive coordinator. Gary Gibbs.
Wow. I agree with one of those.
I am the voice of reason. And I'm kind of joking around, guys. But, hey, a lot of people think they're going to get Brendan Marion as OC.
Brendan Marion needs to be a head coach.
The guy they should get, in my opinion, if I was OSU, this is what I would do. I told you what I would do if I was OU. I'd go get Dan Mullen or whatever. If I was OSU, this is what I'm doing. I'm calling Zach Robinson from the NFL, and I'm saying, Zach, come be the offensive coordinator at OSU. We'll pay you $2.5 million a year to be the OC, and when Gundy retires, you take over the job. Coach in waiting, Zach Robinson. Home run higher. That would be a home run higher.
I don't know about home run higher. Hey, I tell you
That
what's
would
a
be
home run.
higher, Germ.
I tell you what's a home run. Go to thefanstop.com. The January shirt and hoodie is a cream colored one. It is elite. Thefanstop.com. Like, if you have not checked it out, seriously, sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club. You will get a shirt sent to your house every month. That's a different design, a different look, but the same great feel every single month. I can't wait. It's unbelievable. I'm like a little kid at Christmas every month when I know that's about to come in to see it. Thefanstop.com. And if you're not a Sooner fan, they have all kinds of officially licensed college football gear for other schools. So find out who your uncle or aunt's favorite team is, or your nephews, and sign them up for the Shirt of the Month Club. And if you use code SURGE, you get 10% off, Jay. First 3 months.
And I'll say this, Chester, thanks for being a member. Appreciate you signing up tonight. Chief, thanks for the super. Appreciate it. Lori, welcome back, Lori. I think everybody needs to say welcome back, Lori. She's back tonight. Hit the like for Lori. Lori's always telling everybody else to hit the like. Hit the like.
And can I say something before we get off here?
Yeah.
There's a lot of new people on here. I'll say this, and Rick, I think is one of them. We're here every night at 9:30. Every single night for an hour. We do this with the viewers because we're fans. This is a show for the fans. And you can call in. We can chat it up. We do this every night. We can't wait for tomorrow night, Thursday night. We're going to get off here tonight, but National Early Signing Day. Good day. I wouldn't say great for OU. I would say good day. But it's a great day to be on here with everyone. So
yeah, and hey, let me answer this question as we get off here with Price. I think they're going to be a top
25.
I would say top 40 offense.
I'd go top 40, yeah.
And I think they're going to score some points. But does that equal wins? I'm not ready to say it does yet. That's my thing. I think that they had a good offense under Levy. They didn't win Big 12 championship.
That is correct. Yeah.
So you can go put up 30 points. It doesn't mean you're going to win games.
Well, BV won't be here long if that happens.
It starts at the top. And if they don't win games next year, it starts at the top.
I wish Barber would have started at the top here, but I'm going to get off
maybe
here.
They should. Did you tell them to start at the top? Where did you say?
It will be fixed by tomorrow. Thanks for being on here.
You're going to cut it yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks for being on here. We will see everyone tomorrow night. Have a terrific Thursday.